Yeah. Also, Fernando, do you get the feeling that we have like a lot of people in the Discord just like patiently watching for like when a big TISM update comes? It's
For
like,
what? Yeah, you should DM Zopto.
oh yeah, Zupto, you should always be DMing.
A lot of people in the Discord waiting for what,
I
Craig?
feel like people are like waiting on like a big patch, is what I get the feeling. It's like it's a lot of
Hmm.
patient observation happening.
Oh, yeah, most of the people on the Discord are just observing,
Yeah,
waiting to see what the game
waiting,
does.
waiting for the time to strike.
Yeah, well, I think I told you guys last week. My main focus now is going to be getting our Steam page up because I think that's going to help a lot in terms of visibility, and
Yeah.
also will help, just
I could
having
talk the random
a presence
tisms
on
on it.
Steam. You know? And then the other thing is talking to investors and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but and then I have some cool. I have some programming stuff that I'm really eager about, including even more optimizations to make the game
Yeah.
run even smoother.
Yeah,
Renzo,
cause
if you're
what?
listening.
Yeah, cause what Renzo was worried that with the higher graphics that he'll be left behind for running the
Mm.
game. I figure it's like, well, from what Fernando was saying, the low setting should be like even better than what it already is for
Yeah, I mean,
optimization.
ideally the game should only get fast. I mean, we're gonna be adding more stuff, so it's a constant competition between the more features and more content, and then making sure that stuff runs smoothly. But I've been working behind the scenes and looking at some of the stuff I can do to make the game run smoother and faster.
Hmm.
And I feel like we have some room to make it even faster, which it already is probably one of the most efficient space games out there. Um,
Yeah.
so it runs really well. And then on the graphical side, if I get some good funding and that means the artists have time to do the art well, then there's no reason why you can't have multiple levels of detail for every single object in the game. And that's what I want. I want everything. If we get new capital ships, these capital ships only have one level of detail. With custom made art, these capital ships could have 5 or 6 levels of detail. So when they're far away, they're not using so much of your GPU budget, for example. Single line of code. It'll be a very long line of code. The smoke, for example, right? That's one of the things that graphically is taking up a lot of headway. There's potential to switch to the newer Unity renderer eventually, and that will render the smoke to look nicer and take less time. So there's definitely room for more optimization. And after the Steam page, some of the stuff I'm working on is actually optimization oriented and targeted at the netcode improvements I told you guys about for like your own private instances and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
All that spooky stuff.
gameplay wise, I think the main thing that we'll probably be focusing on, because there's two different kinds of things. It's like there's the funding, there's the technological improvements, and there's the gameplay. For gameplay, I think the main focus is going to be making a nice map that has a lot of the properties of the hidden map, and that means that canyon map. Working on that, working on white box version of it, and then making a version of it once we're happy how it plays that looks pretty, so that we can include it in the lineup without it feeling out of place. And then after that, I think gameplay-wise, the next thing is to go back on working on the torpedoes and the capital ships. That's my general roadmap. And then if torpedoes goes well, capital ships goes well, then I think the very next thing to work on gameplay-wise would be the second faction. Although maybe for the second faction, I'll work on some enhancements to the G-forces and the flight model to make it even more refined than what we have right now. But that's what I'm really hoping though is that I get some resources so that while I'm working on all this like technological stuff and game design stuff, we have artists that can work on content. So the game can be progressing on more than one front instead of everything just be based around me.
Yeah.
And what people like Boxol can do on their spare time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my general idea.
Interesting.
Ooh, a lot of missiles on my 6. Sub-Zero, are you on mic? Do you have a microphone, or are you only listening in?
No, I got a mic. I was just muted while you guys are chatting.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
cool. You're a new player. How do you like the game so far?
Fucking amazing.
Oh, awesome, man. Happy to hear that. 2021, like I was just saying to Craze, I have really high hopes that, I mean, the game is already pretty cool and pretty awesome. I'm pretty proud of what I've been able to do, but I think if things go well, we'll be able to push it a lot further next year.
Push it off a cliff.
The latest thing I added to the game, by the way, Sub-Zero, is in the mission menu where you can change settings about, what kind of mission type you want to play, and if you have bots or stuff, you can actually switch between locations.
Oh.
So right now we only have 3 very basic locations and 1 hidden location. Yeah. But whenever you join a server, the first person to join has control over basically the server settings.
Oh yeah, the main thing I noticed,
So
we were playing on like the blank map. It's like, because there's nothing there to render, I was basically locked to 140 frames per second permanently. It was amazing.
Space has that advantage.
It's like, it was amazing. It's like, oh my gosh, the game just runs perfectly. Because there's nothing to render.
Well, because I figured if the end goal for the game is to have an actual one of the end goals of the game is to have an actual campaign, and no space campaign, you're not always gonna be flying through like scenic locations like this one. Sometimes you'll be flying in the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
See, so it was the easy thing to do is add some middle of nowhere map, aka an empty map. Cool. I'm gonna actually work on the build and try to push it right now. I'll probably drop by in like an hour or half an hour, depending on how long it takes. Is that alright?
That's good.
If you guys need anything, send me a DM, okay?
Alright.
And make sure you help Sub-Zero since he's new. Everybody else here is among the most experienced and difficult to defeat players in the game.
And there's also me.
Yeah, you could join.
Yeah.
You want to join today, Carmen?
No.
Why not?
Okay. Well, in that map, you can still refit during the break days, or turn on stop to refit.
So we need like Trick Kenobi too.
Okay.
He likes to play on Sunday though. So.
I'll be back in a little bit.
I'm not on his case
that
that
much.
much.
Build ready.
I'm only on his case about StarCraft 2, basically. So.
See ya, Sub-Zero. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to these guys. Craze is one of our official pilot instructors, so he's well versed in the game, say the least.
Will do.
Yeah.
Okay. See you later. Have fun.
You have a good one. I was even using like my stick a little bit yesterday, just to like try it out again. It's not a big stick main.
Took me forever to set up the HOTAS. Oh, wasn't expecting all the options.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I forget I have one of those.
I've spent many hours in Elite Dangerous, so I went and bought full HOTAS and rudder pedals and all that.
Yeah, I had a
And then-
HOTAS VR setup for Elite.
Everybody's leaving.
No,
Oh,
it's
no.
just Renzo. Pretty sure his internet probably glitched out.
Oh, Renzo is here. It's Fernando went.
Yeah. He's still in the wolves. Or he went to change his org or something. So he can
Was
send me a
very
secret
happy to see
message.
that the rudder pedals actually worked, unlike in Star Wars, though.
Oh yeah, it was a person that joined yesterday, and he was asking if there was like a way to have the pedals just work as a button rather than an axis. And I figured, like, I don't know if that's possible. You'll have to ask, like, Fernando. And turns out that's currently not a thing, though, but they're probably going to work on that soon. It's like, see, it'll be nice, though.
Nice.
So now, in case you want your pedals to act as a button, that'll probably be a possibility in the future now. Because I figure it's like, I don't question people's setup. It's like, I'd prefer more people with interesting setups to come on, because then we can have a better system that, like, allows you to do very
Right.
specific things. It's like I've heard about weird setups. Like, I heard that people play, like, competitively fighting games with, like, steering wheels and whatnot. And it's like, weirdly, I could kind of see why you'd want to do that. It's like, kind of see the logic with it. It's kind of cool. The only thing with my stick was, because I changed PCs, I had to rebind it. But thankfully, I didn't need to readjust the tension, because I think I'm happy with the tension on it. I'm not sure if I'm 100% happy, I kind of just don't want to open it back up again. And, like, adjust it, and then test it out again, and then close it back up. It's like... I think I just need to leave it alone. That's all we need to do. There was a lot of weird It was actually in a different game, where it was like, there was a lot of weird conversation between keyboard and mouse and joystick, basically.
Casual.
As it was more, it's like, one person of the belief that, like, mouse and keyboard's inferior to, like, joystick. I'm like, well, I mean, for performance, they're kind of about the same, right?
I mean...
It's like preference.
As far as, like, games like Elite Dangerous, mouse and keyboard actually can outperform joystick.
Yeah, it's like,
all the heavy PvP people are mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
But that could also be dependent upon the systems in a game, so...
Yeah. Because it was mostly for Battlescape, but it was like, I'm familiar enough with, like, how it controls a mouse. It's like, I mean, there's no reason as to why it'd just be flat out inferior to joystick gaming. I mean, you have the problem that, like, in Battlescape, it's not like HunterNet where you have two different mouse control systems. You can either do Virtual Joy or the HunterNet Virtual Joy, which is a little bit different. So you get to pick which one you want more. Whereas Battlescape's only, like, it's just Virtual Joy only. So, I mean, I could see if you don't like the Virtual Joystick that, yeah, you might feel like it's inferior, but, like, if you're a person that's good at Virtual Joy, it's like, well, it's not inferior, because it's like, it's about the same then. Like, it's just kind of like, if you personally prefer it or not, it's going to determine how good it is for you. And, man, I'm probably changing these rendering settings back to... Oh, it happens. But I'm going to be changing my rendering settings back to, like, smoothness rather than low latency, because it's like, I don't really notice a benefit from having it be ultra low latency, whereas if I have it stable, the game runs perfectly rather than jumping a little every now. So I think I'm going to go and do that real quick. Won't panic if I like hop. I might keep FreeSync off just to see, because I feel like my FreeSync at some point stopped doing something. I'm not sure why. I think I do need to relaunch the game, though, so... It's very fast to boot up 100, so it's not a super big deal. I won't have a blank screen for too long on the stream. It'll be fine. There we go. Although the server list is slower for some reason, not sure why. Bit of a mystery. Also need to make sure OBS is still working, because it might decide to die for no. It's looking a lot better. Oh, the BRB screen is the blank screen. That's what it's for. It's like, it's obvious. You don't need no BRB screens. Like, the people know what a black screen means. It's obvious. Alright. So, and there we go. I got the game really smooth. In fact, I think I could turn off the in-game sensitivity too.
Oof. There, that's a lot nicer. I think I'm gonna keep these settings then. I think the latency might be overrated somewhat. It's like, well, if it comes at the cost of things being really glitchy looking and jerky, I don't think it's worth it. It's like, I'm pretty sure, like, you eventually learn to account for latency anyway. Like, you just, like, memorize the delay, and you're just, like, doing your actions. Already having a muscle memory. So, because you're new, is there anything you're confused about right now for, like, the mechanics, or does about everything make sense right now? Everything's making sense. I mean,
So basically, a good place to start with is, are you familiar with, like, the energy system? How that works?
yep.
Yeah, so energy
I
and health.
started out by watching the videos.
Yeah, so basically they explain, like, the general idea.
Yep.
Then the only other thing that's, like, generally important to know about is G-forces make sense as well.
Yep.
Yeah, and basically, you know, like, the basic principle and, like, how to not pass out. It's like, if you're about the G-lock, whatever direction you're flying in, stop, and you won't. It's like the basic idea. And most people that are like good at flying without passing out, like they can't tell you exactly what they're doing. It's just a point where it's like, it's just I just do fly stuff and it doesn't pass out. It's basically how it ends up working at some point. Okay.
After a while, it becomes second nature.
Yeah, and then as for refitting and repairing, you're good on those as well.
Yep. Actually, just landed to repair.
Awesome. And how about the radar?
To be perfectly honest, I haven't even bothered trying to pay attention to it yet.
Gotcha. That's good, because I used to play a lot of Elite Dangerous, but I was playing it on console for when I was playing it.
Gotcha.
I've fallen off from it in like recent times. Probably just burnout, because I was literally playing Elite since like 2015, so. I mostly miss it back in 2015, before Engineers anyway. It's just like, I miss it so much. But at the same time, I've like probably spent most of the time building out different weapon ideas using Engineers. It's a little bit of a strange position to be in. So there's a lot.
I mean, coming from Elite, and just now that I'm looking at the radar, the differences are minor enough to where it's still easy enough to just pick up and play.
Yeah, it's mostly just visual.
Yeah,
but
the biggest thing is the 3-dimension aspect. You know, whether they're above you or below you, it takes a little more thinking to realize which one.
Yeah, because it's represented by symbols instead of physically, as in physically putting them above and below, which is a lot more intuitive.
Yeah.
That was like the funny thing I was talking about Fernando, is like, he doesn't understand. It's like, what do you mean the Raiders? More confusing. It's like, well, I mean, when it's actual colors and whatnot, that's more intuitive than symbols. It's just like, it's like a color, it's like, okay, that makes more sense. Just intuitively, for whatever reason. Because a lot of games just use colors, I guess.
It's easier for quick glance.
And then it's just, like, with symbols, it's like, I mean, I've never played a game that used, like, different symbols to represent stuff. Apart from, like, very rarely. And it wasn't for something like the radar. It was, like, for class symbols, basically. It was, like, the main thing I can remember. Oh no, the mouse is fighting me again. Poor mouse. I'm definitely gonna probably have to get a new one soon, or send this one in and try out the old one, which I don't know where I put the old mouse, I just know I kept it. I got to go looking through. Like some old bins, bro. So, I'm pretty sure you know how, like, the energy capacitor works. It's basically just, like, a minor thing with the energy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was one of the people that skipped over the flight training, just because it's like, I just want to figure out stuff randomly. So I usually find that. And then if I ever get... Yeah, and then if I ever get too confused, then I'll go and watch the tutorial. This is I learn more by like failure. It's I guess it's like
trial by fire.
Trying it out and then either succeeding or failing. Because if I fail, it's like, well, I have the tutorial to go back on and figure out what's happening here. Yeah. Well, you joined like years ago though, so days. It was a different game. Literally. It was a different project. It was like Unbound instead of 100-Net Starfighter. The mechanics were a lot different too. Like it was basically more broad, whereas like 100-Net Starfighter is more specific to like being about starfighting. Whereas Unbound, because Unbound had like a lot of exotic weapons which did like insane stuff. But from what I hear,
double up on plasma cannons.
It's a lot of fun. Nah, you can't double up on any of the weapons unless you're using a bomber. You can double up on any of the missiles, the Dubfires and the 2 homing ones. And basically, as
game.
Fernando said, if you could double up on weapons, that's all everyone would ever use. Because it'd just be free damage. It's like, you can, like, mix different weapon types. Like, people usually use heavy cannon as, like, a extra weapon. Because it works well with, like, almost every gun, even though it's, like, medium projectile speed. Because every gun does have a different projectile speed, so if you use two of them at the same time, if you get up close, it doesn't really matter if they're different speed, you're just probably gonna hit anyway. Whereas at long range, you need to, like, either alternate between your pips better, or you can just aim with one, and then whichever one's missing is gonna be kind of an automatic zoning tool. It's just gonna put shots in places and just, like, limit, you know, the person's movement a little bit. So sometimes it works out well for that. You just have to keep in mind you're using, like, double the energy to do that. If you decide to, like, have them all on, like, the same bind for shooting. Or you can, like, have them separate. It's like, it's very nice with, like, all the three weapon slots. It's poor. Say, the old mouse, though, was definitely more durable. Considering that thing is about... It was 2 years old when I replaced it, and now it's probably about 3 years. And as far as I know, it works about as well as it did the first day. The problem was that this wasn't the best mouse.
Oof. That was an asteroid. Don't mind me.
Well, I'd like the mouse to be really good. It's like the PC, well, I mean, it's not as important right now. It has a good enough graphics card. It's like, I'd like to replace that when cards get really cheap again. That's when I'd actually replace the graphics card. It's like, right now, it's like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Because everything's really expensive. It's like, I want to get, like, a $100 graphics card that's, like, twice as good as, like, my current one. It's what I'd want. A 1650 Super would, I think, be slightly worse than my current graphics card. I think it would be. Because I have a 1070. It's like, if I remember, a 1660 Ti is, like, a little bit better than a 1070. It's, like, 10% better. So if 1650 Super should be, like, 30% worse-ish, like a tier below. Those graphics tiers are, like, approximately 35%. So the other thing I'm thinking about now is, do you understand how, like, the game modes work, then? For Switch and...
This one's straightforward.
Yeah, because I believe you'd have control over the server, so do you know how to switch game modes?
He mentioned it earlier. I haven't looked at the menu yet.
Alright, did you want to look at it and switch it over to something?
I definitely can.
Alright, so... Oh, the match is about to end soon. I wasn't even paying attention to that. That's really convenient.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That was down in mission.
Mission parameters, you hit right on it.
Yeah. Okay, location, mission.
Yep. And usually from mission, if you put it on bounty hunt, that's the free-for-all mode.
Okay.
That's like one of the main modes. The other ones are more specific, so we usually do it when we get, like, if we get more people in, like, probably about, like, if we got 4 people here, we could probably do teams or capital ship assault or something like that. So for now, free-for-all would work pretty well, because it means it's, like, you can do whatever you want. And then, there's a lot of specific options we have. Enemy call signs just means you can see, what names, enemy pilots have instead of it being hidden. It's like, I usually like it on, but sometimes it works better off because it means you don't get ganked as hard.
You can throw it on.
Yeah, instruments only is basically no HUD mode. Although you still have pips. And then tracers only means you don't have, everyone's forced to not use pips. It's usually an option in refitting, but you're just forced to not have pips.
Okay.
Repair and kill just means that whenever you kill somebody, you full heal. And then stop the refit.
Full repair?
Yeah. So you'll full repair when you kill someone. You also full energy. So if you're like about to die and have no energy and you kill someone, you'll be completely refilled. So if you're fighting multiple people, it's kind of a good idea to like focus someone down and just repair, and then you can deal with the second guy after you, because then you're back to full health again.
Okay.
And then after repair kill, stop the refit is a new one. It's kind of more for convenience. It just means that whenever you stop anywhere, you can just refit. You don't have to land on the pad to refit if it's not a refit break.
Okay. It's good in that empty map, so that because there's no carriers.
We had the turret on. We figured it out real quick.
It's also good for when you just have a bunch of people training on a server. Turn on repair to kill and stop to repair. And it speeds up the process between matches, you know what I mean? Between duels.
Yeah, and we also got drag damage for racing. It converts the weapons to slow people down instead of damaging them. So that you can have racing where you shoot at people, but you don't kill them, because like then they'd have to respawn at like either to start or a checkpoint normally. It's like instead you can just have people slow down, so that way the race ends up being a lot more closer when you're shooting at people, because it just slows them down, so you get in front of them, and then, because you're in front of them, then they'll slow you down, so you kind of have to, like, split your attention between actually doing the race, because if you're too focused on actually shooting someone, you're just going to crash into, like, a pillar or something on a race. If it's, like, the kind of race where it's, like, very tight. So that one's a kind of fun one. And, Death Rocks, changes the ROC, so that it basically instantly kills almost every ship, except for a bomber. Bomber can usually take a hit, although I believe if it's like slightly damaged, or if you get hit in the front, sometimes you'll still die in one hit, but generally you'd expect to survive one, but lights and heavies just die instantly to a rock.
No, the heavies can now sometimes survive too.
Yeah. Oh.
I nerfed it a little bit.
So, you nerfed it a little bit, cool.
Yeah, so now the heavies and the bombers are more, so it's not 100% one-shot kill. But yeah, if you get hit in the weak spot on your ship's shields and hull is the nose of your ship. So if you get hit in the nose, I'm not sure if a heavy would survive or not. I haven't tested that. But in the back, they'll definitely survive if they're not already damaged.
Yeah, and
so it gives you a reason to maybe fly the heavy. That was your suggestion.
Yeah. And then the other thing is it also requires direct hits of the rock. It can't proximity detonate like it normally does.
It's just a fun, insta-gib parameter. One punch mode.
Yeah. Then with Missile Circus, that just converts the AI to only use the lock-on missiles, essentially.
Okay.
Good way to practice if you don't know how to deal with missiles. Just turn that on.
It's also good for...
I put that in because people think, oh my god, these missiles. But then you realize they're actually pretty weak. You can take on an entire army of nothing but missile spammers and without a problem once you know how to
It's also pretty decent for benchmarking as well.
Yeah.
If you decide to have smoke particles, turn up the max, basically.
Hey, sorry to interrupt you, Craze. Can you double check for me if anybody's on the London server? I'm updating the server.
Yes, I can. Right now, London is empty. It's only us on Dallas.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna be updating Dallas in a moment, so if you guys get disconnected, that's why.
Okay.
Go on.
A refit's different. So that's like all the parameters, and if they do change the patch, Fernando will be happy to let you know, and there'll also be patch notes about it too. So you don't have to like... I guess they do change, because...
There's also the test parameters menu. I know you told them about that.
Yeah, oh, we still have the alternate flight assist is still there. It's like, test parameters are like more testing out stuff. We haven't had one for a while, so that's why I didn't mention it yet.
But I put in that flight assist on mode because most people, once they get better, they tend to fly most of the time with flight assist off. But some people prefer flying with flight assist on. And I tried changing the algorithm a little bit so that with that alternate flight assist model, if you start using high amounts of strafing, it'll sort of tone down the flight assist. It's assuming, okay, well, he's strafing really hard, he's probably trying to evade. I'm not going to be so focused on having him fly in a straight line, you know, not flying in a controlled path. I'm not sure if it's good or bad, because it's sort of going against the very nature of flight assist. What I think of telling new players crazed is, imagine this: if you have flight assist, it's really easy to do like a nice clean circle. You can do a loop, and if you look at your smoke trail, you can draw a nice clean circle in tight, you know, contiguous circle that's not very wobbly, which is great in terms of precision and control. But in a dogfight, the last thing you want is a nice, clean, predictable flight path. So whereas if you try to do the same thing with flight assist off, you're gonna get some, you know, depending on how good you are at controlling your ship, you're gonna get some sort of like not perfect circle. It's gonna look more like a hand-drawn circle, right? It's gonna be more of an ellipse. It's gonna be a little bit wobbly and shaky because it's really hard for you to perfectly counter your drift without flight assist. And in open places in combat, I feel you're better off turning off flight assist and only using flight assist when you need it. Like Starstep uses it when he's lining up shots sometimes, or when you're flying near an obstacle. Where flight assist really shines is in close quarters with obstacles. Of course, there's people who are so good they're built-in flight assist, like Crazed and Renzo and Mary Boxel are some of those people, and they just counter all their drifting themselves. But normal players, I think that's how I see it. And I really think the best way to do it is to use the best of both worlds and have a button that you can press to turn on flight assist only when you need it and turn it off when you don't need it. That's the ideal way, I think.
Yeah, it's basically how Elite works with its flight assist on and off. Is like, ideally you want to be switching between them.
Yeah.
It's like, so I remember in Elite Dangerous, it's like flight assist on has like a lot higher deceleration, versus flight assist off has higher acceleration. So it's like one of the more obvious ways to utilize it.
Yeah. Okay. And in Hunternet, they're exactly the same in terms of their accelerations and everything else. The main difference is just, hey, if you have flight assist on, you can fly in a more controlled manner. It's easy to avoid crashing into things and, you know, maintaining a specific distance from your target. But it's also making your flight path more regular. So unless and it's also, you're pulling more Gs because the flight assist is constantly acceleration to cancel out your drift, which means you're accelerating more. So there's no... Okay, Dallas. New York? What's going on with New York?
Alright, so Anon1 joined us and Dallas. I don't... Yeah, he shouldn't be in the voice chat. Yeah.
I wonder who it is. I'm gonna join you guys in just a moment.
Alright.
Okay.
After you get the spooky patch.
Let me...
It's like, does it give a Santa hat to the capital ships? Is that what's in it?
I told Amanda today when we were walking, should I take some time to like do a special Christmas build? Maybe put like a giant Santa Claus in the game somewhere. I said, no, spend more time with me. It's the holidays. So I say, okay, I'm not gonna bother with that. I was thinking maybe replace the smoke with like snowflakes.
Yeah. That'd be kind of pretty.
It'd be pretty, but it takes time.
Yeah. To have it look nice, it's like you could just like use the first thing you found for like a snowflake and just like, yeah, just replace it, it'll look fine and probably.
Yeah.
Instead of like taking the time to test and make sure it looks good.
Exactly. Okay, now I'm gonna try to connect to the Dallas server. I'm gonna be rebooting the Dallas server right now.
All right.
And the build will be available in just a moment for you guys. So you just there, it's rebooting. So you get disconnected. Don't panic. And York is up. I'm gonna publish the update. I did make it so the hidden map, you guys can bring it up without my me doing it for you.
All right. Well, I'm still streaming, so don't say anything.
Yeah. I won't say the secret. It's only for the select few.
So just making sure. All right. So yes, we got disconnected, like you said. So that means I instead keep the stream up. It's just gonna be a. Actually, it's just gonna freeze in the main menu, which is all right. It's like Daystart should get a BRB screen. It's just like, I mean, it's not. I can't be bothered. It's like the second I get asked by like a loyal Twitch viewer that isn't one of my personal friends, that's just a person that likes to watch me, then I'll probably do it, because then it's like requested. It's almost like there's demand with people, more of the Twitch audience.
The patch is on itch.io, so you guys should see it in a few moments. However long it takes their servers to push it to you.
Well, it's faster than Steam. Definitely. That's probably the main thing with Steam. Steam takes time to like verify updates. So that's probably whenever the Steam 100net comes out. That's probably the first thing that's gonna be fun to deal with.
So Sub-Zero, you mainly you said that you many hours in Elite Dangerous.
Yep.
Cool. I haven't played it very much. I may played a half an hour to an hour just to get a feel for it. But we have a lot of players from Elite.
Oh, that's the main thing I still miss from Elite. It's just sounds of like the ships.
Oh my. Yeah. We're on stream, so I won't talk about sounds, but
sounds.
Expect better sounds in 2021. I'll say that much.
Better sound.
I'll be honest. The only control that I felt was missing, in my opinion, was a toggle for the throttle reverse. If you're using a one-directional throttle,
there is a reverse
press
throttle.
to hold.
Press to hold instead of toggle.
Yeah.
Well, I figured in combat you like toggle better.
Yeah. But it's something you can get used to, so not really an issue. It's just a, hey, this would have been nice.
It's like, it'd be nice to do this specific thing, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, if you don't get used to it, then let me know. I haven't done anything to replace it yet. It's just not been on the priorities list days. Right now, the only person playing on it is you, so I figure it wasn't that big of a priority. But if we get some more, if Nico starts playing some more, then I'll give it more priority.
Yeah. Oh, I need to remember to ask Nico. I believe he has an NVIDIA graphics card. Does he have low latency on? Because I noticed that HunterNet really hates the low latency setting in NVIDIA. That causes a lot of stuttering. So I'll have to tell him, is like, try switching that off and see if that helps you. Because what the low latency, well, the main thing it does is it gets rid of pre-queued up frames from the CPU to the GPU.
Yeah, those kind of overrides can mess with the engine.
Alright, is the server done updating yet?
Dallas is up. Renzo's already on it, so he's got the patch.
Alright, my game is erroring out for some reason. So maybe it didn't update like it was supposed to. Possibly.
Yeah, but Sub-Zero, you know, if you don't get comfortable with it, let me know. I do add. There's a lot of stuff that has toggle versus hold, where I thought it made sense. The main reason I didn't do it for reverse throttle, this is my logic, anyways. is that most of the time you're pushing forward, and when you push back, you know, it's for short periods of time, and the toggles tend to be things that you start forgetting what state you're in. Um, so I felt
Oh,
that
I
may have hold.
understand completely on that. It's
Yeah.
just, and it's not a big deal. It was
Right.
just
Right.
a going through all the different settings, setting up the HOTAS, and oh,
Yeah.
hey, this one's only a press and hold,
Yeah.
not a toggle.
Yeah. So basically, what I normally do is like sometimes when people ask me something, if they don't get used to it, then I might add that option, or if I hear multiple people say for it. But I try to get people see people actually really need it before adding it in. Like for example, I don't know if it was you or somebody. Who was it that asked for it? Somebody asked for using axes as buttons,
Yep, that was.
and that was some
Yeah,
new
we
person.
were talking to him yesterday. If he still can
Yeah,
support, we'll find his name in like 3 seconds.
yeah. So it wasn't Sub Zero, somebody else.
No.
Yeah,
And
Angelin.
it wasn't Angeline, okay. And it wasn't the first. There's actually at least one other person asked that before, so I knew that that
Okay.
was something I could add it. I didn't do it because I thought, well, I'm not going to complicate the code for that. The game doesn't use that many buttons. But since now more than one person asked for it, I said, oh, maybe I should just do it. How hard can it be? I've done it before for other games. So that's something I'm going to add. And obviously, it's not as big priority as some of the other stuff I have queued up, but it's a low-lying fruit. So I always try to include like small. That's how the game is has all these small little details in it, because over time, whenever people suggest something, I do try to make it comprehensive when I can.
My internet now works. I just need to install it 2 times.
Okay, I'm going to roll out my Ethernet cable so I'm not on my crappy Wi-Fi, and I'll join you guys in a moment.
It's like you've been coding on Wi-Fi. It's like, you can code slightly better. Yeah, I've been streaming the whole time. Because there's still audio and whatnot, so. And, yeah, thanks. Also, OBS is still working. Gotta keep checking that, because it will. The second it will break, at the first opportunity it freaking gets. If there's anything I know about OBS. It is desperate to stop working. Oh, lol. Okay, so what has changed?
I'll be back in a couple minutes, and then I'll hop back in the server with you guys.
Alright.
I need to step up for a smoke
Alright. It's all good.
in the middle of a blizzard.
You know, make it quick so you don't get too cold then. So you don't want to like dress up just to go out and have a smoke, and then you have to go back to living normal clothes. Seems a little inconvenient.
Get a good jacket.
Yeah. Yeah, Day said the cigarette will keep you warm, so.
Yeah, I don't need to worry about my lungs freezing at least.
It's like, they'll be fine. That's what's more important anyway. Should start. Just not go after Renzo to shoot him a few times and just let him get away and then steal his kill. That seems like a good strat.
Okay.
That's the new strat.
The old Renzo's kills.
Yeah, still runs those kills, because he runs away when I start shooting at him. So I can just shoo him off that way, and then steal his kill. It's brilliant.
And also Sub-Zero, on the game's website, cpudreams.com, there's a features page, so you which has some information about sort of the direction I'm taking the game. You know, there's still a lot more that I want to add that isn't in there yet. So if you're curious about where it's going, it's a good page to check out. Okay. Are you having trouble getting the patch, or you're not joining us anymore?
Oh, he went out to take a smoke break, so...
Ah, smoke break.
Yeah, he's not here.
So let me tell you guys what changed in this build.
They said nothing.
Oh, there's some small changes. Hidden map access is now available to you guys. I'll explain that later. I fixed a problem with some missing colliders in that map, in the hidden map.
Okay, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Fly through it.
I
Fly
remember.
through the wall. Added a new song, Final Sequence by Lamaro. Pretty cool song. Made the default size of the lead fixed reticle a little bit smaller. Fixed the bug where we couldn't switch teams on the empty map or on the hidden map. And the biggest, the most important change for you guys is GAT got a very small energy cost increase.
Alright,
Basically, I feel that overall it's probably as well balanced as it's ever been. What, Ikis using GAT? I thought he always uses heavy cannon.
Or Checkers. Checkers being the main person.
Yeah, checkmate. Checkers. Checkmate, whatever his name is, E4. Yeah, I mean, I think it was already a lot better balanced in the last build than before when it was too weak and nobody used it. But I felt like the main thing I did was I lowered energy costs, and I think I went a little too far with the energy costs. So I tried to move it a little bit up. It's just small enough that you might not even have noticed if I hadn't told you guys. Let's put it that way. But it's a fine touch with the GAT, because technically the GAT actually uses more energy than the Vulcan, but not right away. Only once it's spooled up, and it takes quite a while for it to reach that maximum spool up rate. So if you're not constantly hosing it down nonstop, it's actually effectively cheaper to use, right? Mm-hmm. So now I feel it's a little bit better tuned. If you don't abuse it, then it's still very good. And if you hold it down, you can still hold it down a lot more than you used to before. So I feel like it's a better overall balance. But I saw Renzolo's meme on the bull hole.
Yeah. A sweaty build.
A lot of people are using GAT nowadays.
I'm using heavy GAT. Because I'm a heavy man.
Yeah, Roger Days.
Always have been too.
I switched to GAT recently with my bomber just because Boxel thought it'd be a better match, which I think he's kind of right. You know, slow ship, harder to pull lead. You want the fastest projectile you can get.
It's like
my original thinking, I was using the Vol because the Vol is better for snapshots. You know, you don't have to spin it up to get the max damage out of it. But we'll see. They are so screwed for 2v2. Wait, I nerfed my own 2v2 loadout. So see, just so that just proves I don't play favoritism.
And me and Renzo are just gonna stay cozy at the top, basically.
Well, we still gotta fight.
Yeah.
Because
they haven't challenged us.
And chords.
So.
They were gonna fight us. But Box wasn't able to play right now, so.
Yeah, because he's busy, you know, working.
You know.
Helping.
No, holiday stuff. So.
Got the rose.
Ah, that was Crazy Gunman who came in. Stole my kill. Okay, Renzolo's back. God, how about go after Crazy Gunman instead of me? Whoa! Whoa, man, that was a close call there for sure.
Okay, that was cold.
It's cold
It's
out there.
colder than what you thought it would be.
Yeah, we're in a winter weather advisory.
Well, I live in Spain. It's pretty cold here. Ugh. It's gonna be 3 degrees Celsius on Christmas. Freak.
Currently 0 and 40-mile-an-hour winds.
Wow. And Days Gambler laughs. It's 30 degrees Celsius.
There's a reason my call sign's Sub-Zero.
Yeah, that's what your call Sub-Zero. I thought it was because of Mortal Kombat.
It's what the temperature is. It's what temperature his cockpit's at, generally. So it's more like his home climate.
The Iceman has joined the server.
He's not afraid of the cold void of space, because his cockpit's even colder than the cold void of space. So.
No, it's just my heart.
Warms up a little bit. Pure evil. Yeah, 15-8. It's like I would have the weapon cooling system redirect to the cockpit to help warm it up a little bit. It's like it also gets rid of the heat. It's like,
God damn. Ah, I almost had him. Good fight, Renzo. That was pretty good.
one developer screen.
I should switch over to my bomber.
Yeah. Bomberman. I have to use heavy, because heavy's the most slept on right now. Yeah, I don't use double weapons. I use
Let's go
one
work on
weapon.
your distance shots. I mean, I think the heavy is probably the strongest ship in the game right now. But I've been using the bomber because I want to develop my, my abilities with it.
I'm trying to convince Renzo to use heavy so that we can be a heavy wing.
The heavy wing. The other reason he hates it now. The other reason is because Box likes using the bomber, and because I wanted to work on our team tactics. I feel like yes, I don't think the bomber is that good in 1v1 compared to the other two, although it can still do pretty well.
I thought the bomber was actually really good at 1v1, but it's worse in teams. That's what I thought.
I thought in twos it could shine more, but hey.
For me, I thought the opposite. Because it's like, if it's a 1v1, it's like, well, you have like double the health of anyone. Whereas in teams, it's like you can just get 2v1 so easily with a bomber because you're slower than everyone. That's what I thought.
Well, I feel in teams, if you're coordinated, you can really, you can cover each other better.
Yeah.
But apparently it doesn't matter if I face Crazed Gunman. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is more fun that way.
theories. Yeah, that's why.
It's all a theory.
I like making theories, but I'll test stuff though.
That's people always tell me. Sometimes I get messages from people saying this is like this. This is too strong. This is too weak. I'm like, really? Do you really know that? I made the game. I don't know.
Literally, what I did earlier was I had a theory of, oh, if I have everything on like minimum latency, and I just turn everything off, that will be like the best graphical experience because it will be so low latency that there's no opportunity for error. That was the theory. I tested it and it sucks, so I turned it back. It's like, there you go. Turn it back to being higher latency but more stability. 'Cause that's better for this game. Although most other games don't seem to care about the latency, I'll just make an exception for HunterNet. It's like HunterNet's the only game that has the latency turned off for stability. And also, I'm pretty convinced that this monitor is not the best anyway. But I knew that when I bought it. I bought it because it was cheap.
Dang it, Ronzolo stole my kill. You do that on purpose. You didn't see me there. No, it's okay. It's a free-for-all. You're allowed to steal my kill.
Yeah. Yeah, I hesitate to shoot at people in free-for-all. I usually just wait for them to come for me.
Ooh, nice spin there.
It's like,
nice. That's like an interpretive dance.
yeah, I'm a samurai. I never make the first move. That's why.
Oh, you're in trouble, huh?
Heavy.
Shit.
Oh, there was something I wanted to ask you about optimization related.
Yeah.
It's like, why does the menu cause the game to go to like 7 FPS every time when you open it?
It runs the garbage collector whenever you bring up the menu.
Okay. That's what I was wondering, is like, sync optimization, that's something that's not optimized.
No,
like a
it is
gearbox
optimization. The game tries to not run garbage collection as much as possible, and so it looks for places where it wouldn't cause a problem to your gameplay experience, like when you're dead, or when the mission ends, or when you G-lock, or when you're in the menu, and runs it then, because then that decreases the need of having to run it the rest of the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's a very aggressive garbage collection.
Yeah.
If you just mash escape, you can perpetually stay at like a really low frame rate because it's so aggressive. Yeah. It's just like, I know
but
clearing.
It should only last for like a few moments.
It does. I was just wondering why. It's like, it feels like I'm playing a Gearbox game where the menus always like cause the game to die.
That's the reason. But I'm doing more optimization on the garbage collection, so. Optimize.
The memory bandwidth. It's just like, I know garbage collection is important, but like, how much garbage is there actually at any given moment?
Yeah, you want to make a lot of indie games are not very well optimized.
Yeah, they're just so low.
They're just
low graphics that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the scope is lower, so you don't need to optimize so much. Yeah.
For me, I think optimization is super important, because the more optimized the game is, the less networking needs to happen.
Oh,
generally. If it's really well optimized. And that just means that, well, your networking is going to be way better.
Renzolo, you're never going to repair. Although you did repair some, so.
Yeah, Renzo's very good at sneaking repairs.
I've been hunting him down. Stalking him all over the map.
Hunting him with a bomber.
Yeah.
I think that's what the problem might be.
I think eventually he's going to be able to repair, because I can't get to him fast enough. Repairs a little bit, runs away. I think he had a bad landing there. Yes! No! He got away again. I think he repaired enough that you should just fight me.
Well, let's see. The last thing he wants is a fair fight.
He doesn't want a fair fight, huh?
Nah. That's an unfair fight. Where? Ah, there's a ship. Oh, and Curse is one. Oh, I did post Boxel's art in Curse's Discord.
You post what?
I posted Boxel's art
Uh-huh.
in Curse's Discord because they have an art section.
Oh, nice. Yeah, definitely share that around. I'm gonna be sharing it some more. I haven't done it right now because this is the holidays, but I'm gonna be.
And one person said that they thought it looked really cool, and I just made sure that I had it subtitled as "This was made by Boxel for Hanma." And also added on, like, at the end, it's like, I like it because it, like, reminds me of, like, the Star Wars Guide to Vehicles, how they have the cutaway diagrams. And they have, like, a paragraph of, like, the lore as well. It's like, that was exactly what I thought. So. I bet you could get away with finding a Star Wars-y Discord, post that there. You might trick people for a second that glance at it that it's a Star Wars vehicle. Like, lore page. I bet.
New ship for the Mandalorian Season 3 confirmed.
Yeah, that's his new gunship. Because apparently all bounty hunters like gunships.
Renzello found me.
Yeah. If I was a bounty hunter, I'd be the bounty hunter that uses like a giant capital ship for no reason other than impractical. It's basically what I'd like.
Oh yeah, an AI I think just shot Renzo while he was fighting me.
Yeah. Well, that's usually what you deserve when you draw out fights. Usually the AI just take care of it.
Oh, an AI rammed me. Fudge. Fudge. I'm in trouble now.
I don't think that was an AI.
That wasn't an AI?
No, it wasn't.
That was you?
Maybe.
Good ram. You could have rammed Renzo for me instead.
Oh, I'm working on that. Oh, almost had it.
Ah, GG Renzo. You finished our fight. G.
You got like the shooty build going. Projectiles.
Uncle. By the way, Sub-Zero, if you have a button map to scanner array.
Oh,
Actually,
that was close.
Sorry, Renzillo showed up right in front of me while I was talking to you. Going in for repairs. Ah, shit.
Alright, but he was talking about the scanner array if you had a button bound for it. There is a default bind for it. I don't remember
yeah, but
what
he's on a joystick, so you probably want to HOTAS, right? So you probably want to bind a button for that. It's a very useful button.
because that helps you find people, and you can see the scores as well when you go into the submenu.
It's just a shortcut to the scanner array. You can map a button to it, and it'll pop it open. There's a fly on the wall.
I'm just trying to ram.
You're getting chased by two people.
I'm just trying to ram. It's too easy to use guns, basically. So we gotta ram instead. It's like, we want more of a challenge. Yeah, did you find the scanner array?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Normally we play with, you know, in a more serious match, we would play with enemy call signs off. So you wouldn't be able to see everybody's names if they're not allies.
Not in a duel where I'm controlling the role.
And when you wouldn't be able to target them, but it's still useful even in that circumstances. Get a you rammed them.
Yeah.
Oh, and I smacked into the side of the capital ship. Okay, I should just go equip LRMs.
I guess they'd put pressure on. They definitely do that.
There we go. Time to refit.
Got him!
I wanted to finish him off. Oh, now he's back.
He's back with a vengeance.
Why are you going after me? I didn't do anything to you. It was all Gray's government. Oh wait, no wonder this is so weird. I'm using leap pips without real. I forgot to switch to lag.
Always want to make sure you're on the right pip. Nothing's after.
There we go. Switch back to lag. Oh, I lost sight of him. He broke my lock.
It's one of the lights. Oh, there's a daze. It's always nice to go after daze. The second I don't have some random bot after it.
You got a heavy on your 6, Sub-Zero. I'm gonna try to hit him. Take him off. Your 6 there.
Oh,
There.
ow.
I got him.
We can get the boost.
Oh no.
Whew.
There you go.
You're a paper dishwasher now.
Whoa.
This is way more enjoyable than Squadrons.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, so... do you mind if I ask if you did any more work towards capital ship assault, or you just like completely focused on other things?
Yeah, man, I don't mind you ask. I haven't had time to work on that. I've thought about it. I've been thinking about how I'm gonna implement some of those features, but I haven't had time to work on them yet.
What was happening?
Aw, you got my kill.
There was like, it's like 3 ships chasing days. Like, what in the...
Oh,
I got
disconnected.
Oh, I did too. Wait, we're on
What
deck.
happened?
Can I rejoin?
Everybody got disconnected?
Yeah.
Let me look at the log. What happened?
I
Visit
wanna-
the website.
I blame the server.
It's probably something that happened on the server that's weird, but let me see.
Okay. Someone
more
changed the
exceptions.
map.
It
Let me
really
look.
didn't like us killing him.
No.
Oh. I was about to get killed, and
The only
game
thing
continued
holding
to
the
crash.
universe together is him being alive.
Got this one. Null reference exception. Okay, something went null.
Yeah.
Was anybody doing anything weird?
I was flying around, like, in an
Nobody's
area, so
doing
nothing
anything
weird.
strange, right?
That AI did not like me.
You went into spectator mode? Okay, well, if it happens again, and there's any pattern, game crash after days went into spectator. No. Okay, let's try again.
Yeah, now we're on the red planet.
Ooh,
No,
this
there's
is
only
great.
one capital ship per side here. Yeah, I mean, bugs are pretty rare, but they do happen sometimes. I ain't perfect.
Oh, that's kind of clever to use the red planet for 1 capital ship and the blue for 4 capital.
Yeah, that's the idea.
It's pretty neat. I know Nico would be happy because I know he'd not have as much issue.
Oh,
Oh, I got
I
an
did it
error again, yeah.
Let me look at the server itself, huh? Maybe something's going on there.
That was like a lot sooner.
Yeah.
I'll join it again though. Because that's weird, because normally when we get the error, you can't rejoin any server once you error 1 time. 'Cause it's
Yeah,
the game itself, so it's definitely the server.
Let me try. I'm gonna try connecting to the server through the editor. Maybe I can get some more details. Hold on. We were on Dallas. Okay, there we are.
That's a funny thing. It wasn't a big patch either, so it's like.
Well, it could. Yeah, hopefully it's something I changed that broke it. That way, it's less things to worry about. Right?
It's like.
I didn't.
It
make
was
a
the
change.
energy editing on the GAT. It was too much.
No, I'm thinking it has to do with the not ability the problems with switching teams. I could see that.
Oh
causing
yeah,
problems.
didn't we have that last week too?
Yeah.
On the just only on the shipyard though.
So if it happened, no, we'll see. Let's see.
All
Let's
right.
just play as normal.
Okay, so don't switch teams.
Yeah, it'll take longer to load because there's more data, right? There's 4 different maps now instead of only 1.
Oh, that's why. Okay, that makes sense. I was thinking, it was like, what did I do to my PC?
Nothing. It's just that. It's one of those area that I'll be optimizing because, like I said, one of the plans is to add private instances and many more locations. So I want all that to run a lot smoother.
Yeah.
So Sub-Zero, you played the new Squadrons. Did you ever play the original X-Wing series?
I did not,
Oh, okay.
but they promised a lot more than they delivered, and the multiplayer, I did not enjoy it. You couldn't. It wasn't easy to play with your friends without
Yeah,
having.
that was.
You know, you had to be online versus other people. There was no versus AI. That was easy anyway.
Right.
And
Yeah.
the other issue was the biggest issue for me was they hard limited their inputs at 2 devices. So
Yeah, that was messed up.
if you have a stick, a throttle, and pedals, you can't use all 3.
Yeah. So they meant stick support like very literally as in only one stick.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what stick support means. One stick. No more, no less.
Yeah. Well, so both my game is inspired in large part by X-Wings. I played that a lot growing up, and I was part of the competitive community for X-Wing versus TIE Fighter too. And when I saw Squadrons was coming, I was like, oh wow, that's awesome. Finally, maybe something similar to X-Wing, help bring attention to the genre and all that. But then it's like they didn't go far enough with the hardware support, with the very limited multiplayer,
Like,
with the very tutorialized campaign that wasn't, maybe they'll do a Squadrons too, but for HunterNet, I'm gonna give you a heck of a lot more freedom. The idea is eventually you'll have access to a mission editor, and you will use the mission editor, the same mission editor that I'll be using to make the missions and the campaigns and the maps, to make your own missions, maps, and campaigns, and play those by yourself or with friends in co-op or in PvP. And right now I have everybody join the same instances since we're a small community, but the idea is in the future is you could set up your own instance and play private with your own settings and configure the AI exactly you want. So give you a lot of control just like the old games did, and the ability to add additional content over time so you're not just limited to, what ships with the game. And then try to provide the best possible sim hardware support. I haven't added VR yet, but that's something that I definitely plan on adding before release. Tobii eye tracking and everything that I can possibly get my hands on is
Wow.
And then right now we have the 3 fighters. They're all sharing a variant of the same model, but that's just because of the lack of resources. But for the final build, we'll have two factions minimum. One basically HunterNet versions of the Rebellion and HunterNet's version of the Empire, and they'll have their own unique mechanics. I've always envisioned the current 3 ships are basically HunterNet's version of the A-Wing, X-Wing, and Y-Wing, except HunterNet's Y-Wing is much more of a fighter than an actual Y-Wing.
yeah.
Okay.
And these capital ships, currently you can blow up their defensive guns, but the idea is you'll be able to actually build them up completely, and work on adding additional ship types besides capital ships, freighters and carriers and
El Torpedo.
yeah. So It's still an alpha, so there's still a lot of things left to be done. But
Which
I
is
think anybody who was excited about Squadrons is potentially going to be pretty happy with Hunter as it is now, especially as it's going to be.
I think
The maps are already a lot bigger than the maps in Squadrons, and the ships are a lot faster. I think that's another big difference between the two. But the maps are going to get even bigger than they already are right now, so we can have, and it supports a lot more players than Squadrons does.
Yeah, it's also more flexible.
Yeah.
The Squadrons, you have like, you know, predetermined matches. It's like, well, I don't know, it's just you just join and leave whenever you want to, and you can change the game mode whenever you want to if you're the server host. It's like Squadron. It's like, no, you gotta leave the game or wait for it to finish to do any. If you want to change something.
Yeah.
It's like works better if you you know, really care about the match and whatnot, because you don't have to worry about it changing or anything. But at the same time, it's like, well, there's not a lot of ability to get a really good match because you can't private match with people. So they've kind of shot themselves in the foot.
They added more matchmaking options and stuff in the latest patch. I'm not so familiar with what they've... So they have addressed some of the flaws, but...
It's like, well,
my guess is that they're waiting for Squadrons 2. You know?
It's like they didn't want to commit to Squadrons 1 because they're just like, I don't know how many people want this game. We're just gonna make it okay, you know? We'll do an alright job and see how many people buy it, and then we'll determine how much money we want to spend on the sequel to, like, make it good.
Sub-Zero's in danger, guys.
He's in danger.
I'm always in danger.
I don't know where he
Help him
is. Oh, I do now.
He's our wingman, so you should see him.
Yeah. I don't see any.
For me, he's wingman number 1, so...
Oh, he's also one for
I got
me.
a little message saying Sub-Zero's in danger, so... I killed the guy who was shooting you.
I don't usually pay attention to my wingman alerts as much as I used to.
You might want to, yeah, go back for repairs. Make sure you don't crash into the deck.
Yeah. Or a turret.
That has killed many pilots. So if you get an alarm that says, you know, so and so in danger, so and so, you can press the smart target button and it'll target whoever was in danger. So that's a good way to help your allies. If you get a message saying that you're under attack, you can also press the smart attack button and it'll target the guy who's attacking you.
Okay.
So there's more in the flight manual. There's a whole section devoted to alarms that talks about that.
I do like how the red planet emits light.
Yeah.
And it lights up all your
It's a big
dust.
ball of fire.
It lights up the dust on the cockpit, which never goes away.
That's not how you make fighters. Just saying.
What happened?
Oh, there's a traffic congestion on the pad.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm heading back home. Did you feel Squadrons is a little slow? I didn't buy the game, but that's the main impression I got when I first saw it. It's like this game, like speed, especially since you gotta go to 50% throttle to get your maximum turn rate, and then your unboosted speeds were like less than 200 meters per second. For most of the ships, if I remember correctly, I think the fastest ships I saw were like 260 something, and that was with boost, which only allows you to fly in a straight line while boosting. So if you're not boosting constantly, your speed seems really low. Oh my god, what is this? This is like the dance of the deck. Days. Everybody's in a light fighter. Let me switch to the...
Yeah, I'm switching back to my heavy.
Hey, do you guys want to do a capital ship assault?
It's like, I sure can.
Let's show Sub-Zero how to take down a capital ship. How to clean it.
The capital ship kills you.
Hey.
I'm gonna try this build.
Let's see what's a different loadout for killing capital ships. Probably. It doesn't. I think I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't actually tried that.
Oh, and we got the one here, so it's gonna be like a lot.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go kill the capital ship. The match already started. So I switched the mission type to capital ship assault. The match. The score is. Huh? Is the number of turrets wrong? Why does it say 0-2? It should say the number of turrets left.
Yeah.
Well, there's
So that's like, did you change the scoring? Does that mean if we killed 2 turrets, we won?
I don't know what's gonna happen. Hey, I didn't test capital ship assault with only one capital ship.
Yes, it does.
Okay, it's broken on this map. Let's
And
switch
that
to
was
the
a
other
draw.
map.
Interesting.
Because old assumptions no longer hold true when you change things. That's why. Let me write that down. Capital ship assault scoring is broken in single capital ship map. And like for example, the map that doesn't even have a capital ship. I don't know even the old capital ship logic didn't assume that there would be 2 capital ships on the map, and I didn't bother to check that. So, see what happens in deep space when capital ship assault mode is on. At least, it didn't crash or anything. Yep, let's do it on this map though. There. So now there's 2 capital ships to destroy. Now the scoring is correct. So 166. Each capital ship has 83 turrets. First team to destroy all the defensive guns on the enemy capital ships wins. And so you gotta bring the number of turrets down to 0 basically. We're all on the same team, so we just compete to see who is most effective at strip mining these capital ships. Watch out though, when you get close, they're pretty hugging capital ships close will help keep some of those SRM missiles off you. And I recommend switching maybe to plasma cannons or heavy cannons, energy weapons to take out these, or multiple weapons to take out the turrets a little faster. There they go. Craig Gutman is
Getting attacked by SRMs everywhere. They won't leave me alone.
Alright.
Yeah, it's no fun using LRMs. I like to getting up close and personal. Give this ship a proper hosing with my plasma cannons. While I hug really close to the ship so the SRMs don't get me. This is when I actually use flight assist. Well, yeah, if you value your pilot's life, maybe. Took some. This ship is almost clear of defenses. Oh, there's a few. The bridge has a lot of its defensive guns still in place.
Those are fun.
Oh, I got killed by a turret right in the face. How many did I take out? I took out 19 of them. Heading over it. Rendola, you also got taken out? Sub-Zero 2 out. Even Crazy Gumman's in danger.
Yeah, I'm about half dead.
Okay, well.
This is the capital ship, so it's close.
It's you versus the capital ship. Sub-Zero and I are on our way in. This one's already been stripped. The one to the left, Sub-Zero. I think that's the one that still has guns.
Okay.
There's less guns on the bottom. So if you go for the part facing the planet, it's safer. Keep your energy up. The turrets don't do as much damage as our guns do. So if you keep your shields up, you can tank a lot of the hits. You're gonna probably get some hits.
Okay.
Between the three of us, we'll strip this thing pretty quick. Okay, the top seems pretty clear. There's one. That's actually pretty decent practice for flying and controlling your ship really well.
I get killed by Renzo.
Renzo is... Sometimes I get tempted to shoot my wingman in this mode when you guys fly in front of me. Just oh, there's only 16 left. Where are they?
I don't remember.
What was that? That was an enemy light fighter. Oh. They're on the other capital ship, huh? There were some leftovers. Let's see who managed to kill the last turret. Three left. Only 3 left. Oh, fourth. We only have 3 seconds. Kill him. 2 turrets. No, we managed to leave 2 alive. Here it is. It was right here. Yeah. Let's see what the stats were. Days got 20. Renzolo got 27. I got 52. Not bad. Sub-Zero, you got 2.
Yup. I think I got him with my face.
With your face, you smashed it to him. And Craze Gunman got 71. Oh, you were doing Homeland Defense, huh? You were defending our capital ship. Our capital ships did pretty good, 144. We should
And most of their defenses still low.
Oh, who the hell just shot me in the face? So Sub-Zero, have you ever done racing in Elite or?
No, I'm not a big racing fan in Elite. I tried it once and just wasn't for me.
How does the racing work in Elite?
When I tried it, it was basically just canyon racing. You designate a start point, designate an end point, and have someone watching.
Watching to see who gets there first. Are the canyons that hard to fly through, or is it pretty easy?
Depends. Some of them are really difficult. Some of them are rather easy.
So there's probably like certain maps that have good
Yeah.
good procedurally generated canyons.
Yeah, you'll have some that are just a straight shot, but they're really narrow, and then others where they're really, really windy.
Manually guided rocket that you have to like drive the missile to the target.
Oh,
it has been suggested before. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's high on the likely to get it added to the game. Weapon list.
Oh shit!
Were you near the enemy capital ship?
I was too.
Yeah. Like I was telling you, the main weapons I'll probably be adding is the anti-capital ship torpedoes, and then various kinds of rear deployed weapons, aka mines. in terms of a guided torpedo, just feels a little bit too weird. If I did a guided one, maybe you would guide it while staying in the cockpit of your ship. In World War II, they had ships like that instead of like you switching to its point of view. There was a weapon like that in HunterNet Space Combat Unbound. You could manually pilot the drone and then blow it up. So it's not like I don't think it's a cool idea. I'm just not sure if it fits in or not. What role it would play. And if I did do it, maybe I would do it as part of another faction.
And make more sense if your ship had 2 people in it, so a
Yeah.
pilot and
Seismic
a
charges.
weapons officer. And make a lot
Yeah.
more sense then.
Yeah. Yeah, like in the Slave 1 had that, you know, that big ol' explosion, that big ol' seismic charge that dropped behind it. Like something like that I think would make more sense. Since I wanted to add some different kinds of mines, basically. And I'm avoiding stuff that feels too exotic for these 2 factions. Yeah. So. So Sub-Zero, I assume you're flying with flight assist on?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that'll help you with that. Let's see, oh man, you have triple weapon loadout. Vulcan heavy cannon rock.
I was having fun with it.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Oh,
Sometimes
a bomber came out of nowhere.
We'll use triple weapon loadouts too. Oh man, this is a nice. Oh, those. I said, well, I saw a nice row of turrets that were low on health, but those are our turrets. Shouldn't attack my own ship.
You almost wipe out a whole defense.
You're watching the flight school videos. Do you understand how the shields work in the game?
We basically made sure that like all the basic mechanics are fine.
Okay, good. He understands how that
I think
works.
that I don't think we talked about the engine refitting though.
No,
okay.
we didn't.
So engine refitting is pretty useful. In the refit menu, you can refit your engine, but you can also do it mid-flight, and you can map buttons to it. There's buttons for refitting individual axes, you know, vertical, lateral, or retro. And there's also buttons for maximum speed and maximum strafe. Maximum speed and maximum strafe is just shortcuts to setting all your strafe axes to minimum or setting them all to maximum.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I recorded those videos, that feature did not exist. And the usefulness of that is you can basically trade maneuverability for speed or speed for maneuverability. The default engine refit has all your strafe directions set for maximum maneuverability. If you look at the, I'm getting attacked by an AI that's doing its best to try to kill me. There, I got him. If you look at there's a display right behind your joystick. It's you know, it's not the easiest one to read. It's not that important to read, but you'll see that there's 3 indicators: one for retro, one for lateral, and one for vertical. If those lights are lit, which they usually are, white, then that means you have maximum retro acceleration, maximum lateral acceleration, and maximum vertical acceleration. You can toggle those off, and you'll gain 20 meters per second maximum speed along your forward direction as a trade-off. So that's useful. Like if you want to run home to refit, you could get rid of some of your maneuverability to get more speed. But whenever you refit, it uses a little bit of energy. And if you don't have enough energy to do it, then your engines will get cut off while the refit is happening, and you'll just drift through space until the refit finishes. But those buttons, mapping buttons to those things is useful, especially maximum strafe and maximum speed. You can map there's basically 5 buttons maximum that you could potentially bind. But because there are Newtonian physics, there's some cool things you can do. You could, for example, if you're far away from combat and you're trying to get up to your buddies, you could refit for maximum speed, and then once you've reached maximum speed, refit maximum strafe. But you won't slow down. You'll keep, you know, once you reach the top speed, as long as you don't turn around and go in the opposite direction in space, you can keep going that speed forever, right? There's a speed limit, but you won't magically lose speed. So it's really useful outside of combat. Refit for maximum speed, reach your max speed, refit for maximum ability. Doing that mid-combat can be more dangerous if your energy is low. But definitely something worth experimenting with. And probably if you're using a HOTAS, it's good to use buttons or a hat switch on your throttle. That'd probably be the most logical place to put that. I'll help you fight this. Oh, you got him. Good kill. Good kill. Let's finish this guy. Renzo, 3 seconds to kill him. Ah, no way. It's a bomber.
Woo, I got more turrets. Yeah.
What time is it? Oh, 7:50.
Yeah, it's very late for you. It's not
It is
bad,
late for
not
me.
really.
Well. Bedtime. Not bedtime,
Yeah,
but
bedtime.
time to chill and relax with the wife.
It's a mandatory.
Watch some The Great Pretender. I don't know if you guys have heard of that show. It's on Netflix. It's pretty good. Especially the second storyline takes place in Singapore, and they have a really cool air race scene. Yeah, I saw that. I haven't watched it yet. Crazy, if you pause your stream, maybe we can hop into the hidden map.
Yes, I would. So, I mean, actually, I'm fine with just flat out ending the stream, basically, because it's already been an hour and 40 minutes. So that will be
Good.
the end of this